Good morning, everybody. As promised, it is about time for me to go live. I said I was going to be making a couple of cute Christmas posts or crafts today. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the video pulled up on my other phone so I can read your comments. How is everybody this morning? I am doing great. I have been up and about and out. Well, I thought there we go. Okay. Hey, Joan, how are you? Good morning, Brenda. How is everybody? It's actually, I put on a sweater this morning. I had to run into town, and I really thought it was a lot cooler than it is, and now I'm sweating. I'm a little bit hot. Hold on, have my volume on the phone. Let me fix that. So hopefully I can read your comments. Joan, you're babysitting. How is Dawson this morning? Is it Dawson Day? Is that who you have? Brenda, you're cold? I'm not. I'm hot. I'm thinking I put the sweater on way too early this year, or for this season. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to make a couple of, I guess they're ornaments, but they're really signs that will go in your Christmas tree, or you can display them anywhere in the house. But I haven't done these before. This is just something I've been thinking about. I saw a couple of other things that were similar when I've been out shopping, and I thought, well, I can try that and see what I can come up with. I'm starting with, this is a little mini chalkboard. I got this at the Dollar Tree, so this is a chalkboard surface. I'm not gonna use this as a chalkboard, and I'm gonna take care of this raw wood around the edges by, I think I'm going to dark wax it. Hey, Jennifer. Oh, thanks for the sweater compliment, but I'm hot. Okay, so I got these signs from the Dollar Tree. I picked up these cute little burlap reindeer. Can you see those? It's a pack of, it's 4 little burlap reindeer. They're Christmas ornaments. They have the little string tied to them. I think I got those at Hobby Lobby. And then I also have this word Merry that has the reindeer as the Y in the end. I got these from Dollar Tree. It's a pack of 5 little Christmas ornaments. I'm going to be using those. And then I have some Christmas, just a big pack of Christmas scrapbook paper. On this phone, my comments always hide, so I have to. Brenda is freezing. Her feet are freezing, and she's got her fireplace on, and I just kicked on the AC for a few minutes. It's because I've been up and about and hot and taking care of a baby already this morning. Okay, so these are the basic elements I'm going to use. Can you guys see my work surface? Probably not well enough. I'm going to come into the camera, adjust just a little bit. Bear with me. Is that better? Now you can see this? Yes, I think you can. So make sure you tell me. Hey, Mom. Hey, Katie. Glad you guys are watching too. Okay, I'm starting out with my little chalkboard sign. And what I'm going to do, first of all, it's got this little hanger on it. I'm going to use this hanger. I'm not going to waste it. But for right now, I'm going to go to the back where there's a knot in the string. And I'm just going to clip that little knot so I can pull. I'm just going to actually pull this all the way out. You're seeing the back of my board. Because I want to stain this surface, the outer edges, and I don't want to get this all stained up. I'm actually going to reuse this piece in a minute. So what I'm going to use is, this is Kiehl's dark wax. It's a stain, but it's a wax too. I use this when I'm distressing things. It's just a wax. It doesn't pour out. It's kind of like a consistency of Vaseline probably. But I'm going to use that. What you do is you wipe it on, wipe it off, wipe off the excess, and then your color's left, and you can go on and craft. And it doesn't really make a mess on anything. However, I always get it on my hands. I am going to put on a pair of gloves. I don't know why. I'm still going to end up with it on me at some point. But let me put these gloves on. I have protected the table with parchment paper. Then once I put gloves on, I can't see my Hey Lydia, haven't seen you in forever. Hey Mandy, same thing. Hi Mandy. I've got Mindy and Mandy both watching this morning. Okay, so what I have is just an old piece of a t-shirt. I have used it 100 times. It's got holes in it. And I just run my finger through, get a little bit of the wax on the end. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not. But basically I just don't want this to look like it's raw wood. So I'm going to wax the whole surface. I'm not worried about whether I get it on my chalk surface or not because I'm going to be covering that up with some paper here in a few minutes, the scrapbook paper. So basically just rubbing it all over. It's kind of thick. I'll just keep going back and get it, drag it wherever I want it to go. It does better if you go with the grain of the wood. Make sure I get the edges good. This wax is really great if you're working on any project, like if you have spindles and you paint them and then you want to give them that aged look, you just rub on this wax, wipe off the extra, and you're done. And it gives it the aged look. Get a little bit more. Also, the good thing is, I just keep using the same piece of t-shirt over and over again, and what's left on the t-shirt will come off the next time. I'll actually still be using some of that wax. It doesn't dry super quick. I'm getting down in there in the grooves up next to the chalkboard with my fingertips. Like I said, I'm not worried about whether I get it on the surface of the chalkboard or not because I'm going to be covering that up. I put these gloves on and now my comments disappear on the phone laying beside me. And because I've got the gloves on, I can't swipe my phone. So if you guys are talking to me, I will go back and read the comments in a minute. Jeanette, the spindles. I can read some of it if I squint and look at the phone in front of me, but it's one of those age things, remember? I can't see good. Going around the edges, just making sure I get that covered. I'm not really worried about the back because it's going to be on a Christmas tree or on display. It's not really going to show anywhere. This little thing of wax, the Kills wax, I think I get it on Amazon. You can get it in Walmart, not local Walmart here in Shelbyville, Tennessee. They don't carry it, but a lot of Walmarts do carry it. But I find it less expensive on Amazon. It's only about $10. It's a tiny container. But you guys, it lasts forever. I've probably been using out of this one since June or July. And it's still probably a fifth of it is left at least. Okay, now I've got it all covered. So there you go, it's all waxed. And then I'm just gonna flip my rag over and go back over it one more time. Get the extra off. Now you see why I took that little rope off. I'm going to take these gloves off too here in just a second so I can read these comments. I can't scroll over and see them. Okay. I really don't know why I wear the gloves because I'm going to end up with stuff all over me anyway. Lay those down. Put this down on my parchment paper. Put that away for now. So this is what we have. It's dry. I'm not worried about what's in the middle because I'm going to cover that up. All right, so that's the beginning of our sign. I need a wipe. There was some on the back that was still a little bit damp. Let me catch up on my comments real fast. Hey, Evelyn, how are things in California? You're up early this morning. So Jeanette, you don't think you want to tackle the spindles with the dark wax? It would be a little time consuming on all your chairs, especially if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrapbook paper inside the middle of that chalk surface, and it's going to have a reindeer on top of it, so I want something kind of woodsy looking. So I'm just going to flip through my book and find a piece of paper I think will look good with reindeer. I just happened to think I didn't bring down a lot of ribbon. I probably should have made sure I had ribbon that would match. That's Merry Christmas. I don't want anything too dark. I want that reindeer to stand out on it. I'm going to be using this ornament first, the little burlap reindeer. Oh, I think this one. This looks like it would have a reindeer behind it. Got multiple sheets, I think. Or is it? It's pretty thick. I can't tell if I've got more than one sheet of paper there or not. No, it's one. They're just really thick. So I'm going to use this. Can you guys see that? It's pine needles and pine cones, which I think go really cute with the reindeer. Let me get it out and see. So here's my reindeer. And then there's the paper. What do you think? Can we see the reindeer on top of that paper? I think so. As you guys join me, hey Amy, good morning. Say hi so I know you're watching. Hey Cheryl. Hey Jeanette. Painting and clear coating. That's still a lot of work when you're doing chair spindles, especially if you have multiple chairs, which I'm sure you do. Hey Cindy. Who else did I see? Hey Marlena, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you guys are here. If you will, please remember to sprinkle the video. For any of you that don't know what sprinkle means, it's S-H-A-R-E. Facebook does not like us to use that word, but I would appreciate it if you would make sure that all your friends can see my video too, so they can start following the page as well. So I just clipped off my little, that's all I was doing, was clipping off my little string on that ornament reindeer because I'm not going to need it. Okay, so I'm starting with this piece of scrapbook paper. I'm going to fill in my chalk surface. I could have done this ahead of time to make it easier. I just lay it in there corner to corner, take my fingernails, mash it tight into the corner so I know about where my cuts need to be. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I kind of made little indentions in my paper. I do have my paper cutter. Let me flip it over. Cut my surface. And Mark shows up with my ribbon. Thank you.
Somebody asked about where you got this.
Do what?
Somebody asked about where you got this.
Somebody asked about where I got the surfaces from. These came from Dollar Tree. Dollar, you guys. Everything's $1 at the Dollar Tree. We love the Dollar Tree. But that's where you can find those surfaces. You can use them like a chalkboard. The chalk actually does work. It will leave a little residue behind if you were actually using it like a real chalkboard to wipe off the chalk. Sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing. Let me get my line lined up here. It sure does look like I'm making that paper small. Nope, that works. Can you guys see? So I'm going to decoupage that in the middle of this sign. Anybody who's ever used Mod Podge before, I don't know if you guys have or not, it is super easy. It is basically a watered down Elmer's glue version. You can make your paper stick, then you put a top coat on it to seal it. Sometimes I don't put a top coat if my paper laid down easy and it's not going to be outdoors in the elements or anything like that. It's not going to be in the humidity. Then I won't top coat it. So I may or may not today. We'll see how the paper lays down. This is a brand new bottle. Mod Podge you can get at any craft store. You can get it at Walmart. You can get off-brands at Walmart. But, of course, Dollar Tree for $1 has a bottle this big. And this will do a lot of projects. Hey, Stacy. Good morning. Stacy, Mark owes you some frames and he's going to be working on those soon. Okay, you guys, I'm just squirting a little bit of the Mod Podge out on my surface over here. And basically just taking a foam brush, putting my glue on. It might be easier just to squirt the glue. It will, because that's going to take too long. I'll just squirt a little bit of the Mod Podge on. You don't want to get way too much because if you have big thick lines of glue, when you lay your paper down on the surface, it's going to bubble. It will bubble every time. However, most of the time the bubbles will disappear if you'll just leave it alone and let it dry. I've learned this from experience, that the more you mess with it, sometimes the worse you make it. You can fix your problems by just having a little patience, and I'm not good at patience. Okay, so I've got that covered really good. You see that? I got that side. Take my paper, put it right in the middle, and then just rub. You guys see my surface there? Try to get it where you can see it a little bit better. Sorry, I'm going back and forth between a couple of phones here so I can read comments. Okay, so that's what we have so far. We have a stained surface. We have our pine cones. I think I put that paper in upside down, but that's okay. You can't really tell. Our pine cones and pine needles there. And then we are going to go back to our reindeer. This is the pack of 4 reindeer that are burlap that I got from Hobby Lobby. I think they were $2.99 for the pack of 4, but I always get everything at 40% off. So that would have been $30, $60, $1.20 off of the $2.99 for the pack of 4, and I'll do 4 projects with them. So my reindeer is going to go right in the middle. Right in the middle. But before I put him on here, I want to dress him up a little bit because he's kind of plain. I need to put something around his neck. You guys remember, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I have not made one of these before. Hey, Aunt Vicky, how are you this morning? How is your weather in Alabama? Okay, so I have some jingle bells. I think my bells are a little bit too big for his neck. One just fell out. That's kind of big. I don't know if it will actually, I think it will take away from him. So I'm not going to use that. I also have some little red berries on a wreath. It's really not a wreath. It's just an embellishment. I could use that, but I think I'm going to put a little piece of ribbon. My paper in the back does have a little bit of red in it, the berries. So I'm going to add a little bit more red. I'm going to use a piece of ribbon around his neck. This is just red sheer ribbon. This one would have come from Dollar Tree also. It's a little 9-foot piece. 9-foot roll of ribbon for $1. I mean, you can't beat that. But I definitely think he needs something around his neck. He needs some color added to him. So I'm literally, he's so tiny and this ribbon is so wide, I want it to bunch up a little bit. I'm actually just going to tie it in a knot. I know you guys can't see this real well, but I do think he needs something around his neck. Actually, it kind of looks like a little red scarf. It's cute. So I know, overcast but nice and cool in southern Alabama. That's what we like to hear, nice and cool. We know that it's nowhere near Christmas time, but you guys, if we don't get a jump on it, you know how that goes. I should have cut my ribbon longer so I'd have more to work with. You know what I'm going to do? So this is what I have. I'm holding it down with my fingers to keep it out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue it a little bit so I can work with it a little bit better. Put a dab of hot glue. I think I got my glue gun hot enough. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm right-handed and I have the glue gun on the left-hand side, so that doesn't help. And then with that hot glue, I'll just pull it really tight and let it set there for a second. The tree goes up next month. You're right, Brenda. You are right. I enjoyed doing all the fall projects and I enjoyed making all the goodies and getting them all sold, but I'm telling you, I'm not ready to do another pumpkin anytime soon. I'm about pumpkined out. Okay, so I put hot glue on there to make it stick, to get it, because I couldn't tie it in a knot. It wouldn't let me because I had tied it cut it too short. So I'm going to trim off my little ends. And now he has a little red around his neck. So he's going to go in the middle, just like this. He's a little bit taller than my surface, but that's okay. His antlers will just be above a little bit. I'm going to use, this is super glue adhesive. It's a gel. It's a permanent. And I'm going to squirt a little bit on the back of him, just sporadically. And then what I'm going to do is take my hot glue gun, because the hot glue is instant and it will allow me to keep working on the project. Cover it back up. Then I'll add some hot glue and stick him down with that. It just takes barely any at all. Something about the smell of super glue. Okay. Get him. He's got little strings hanging from him. That's okay. Actually, most of him actually fits inside that opening. So there we have our little deer. Isn't that cute? Okay, now we need to embellish a little bit. And remember, I had cut that string. Originally, my sign looked like this with a string. I cut the string off and I wanted to reuse it, but I didn't want to get any stain on it. So I'm going to put some beads on there. If any of you guys have worked with these wood beads before, they're wonderful. They're so cute to add to any project. Hey, Kristen. Good to see you this morning. Thank you, Amy. These beads are so great to add to any project, but it's kind of hard to thread your string through sometimes. So we have a remedy for that with some hot glue. I've got some smaller ones. I'm not sure what size I'm going to use quite yet. I'll get that open. Where'd I lay my string? I'm going to take the end of the string that I cut that doesn't have the knot. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the end. Let it cool for a second. Because you know how that string always frays out. And then I just kind of twist it. And then I have a long glue piece of string at the end. So the glue actually strings out of the end. Let me see what size beads I'm going to use this morning. They're going to go rolling everywhere. I'm thinking this. I'm probably going to alternate beads. But I've already got a string at this end. Or a knot at this end. So I'm just going to string on beads. I may alternate sizes if I can find enough. Sometimes when you're working with beads, it's hard to tell what size you have. Hey, you guys don't forget to sprinkle the video. I'm glad you caught me too, Kristen. But you can always watch the replay. It seems that most of you come on the replay. That's totally fine. And the more you share it with your friends, the more you sprinkle with your friends, the more traction I'll get and have more viewers the next time. Okay, I'm just alternating a medium size and a tiny one every other one. I'll have to measure here in a minute to see how many beads I need. I may have been crazy. I think I just messed up. I don't know why. I didn't think I got to put this through my... I've got to put this through my project first. I am crazy. Okay, my knot goes in the front. Sorry, you guys. I had to drop all the beads off. I don't know what I was thinking. I have to get my string through here first. Now I'll alternate my beads. Start all over. I told you guys I would end up with stain on my fingers. Sure enough. It's just a little spot that I found on the back that I had not got the wax stain off of. Oh, it's where it went through the hole, where I put my string through the hole, and there was wax in the hole. Okay, good to go now. All right, now I'll alternate the medium and the tiny ones. Let me catch up. I'm trying to hurry because I'm going to do another one to match, to be similar but not the same. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. So what's the consensus? When do we put up our Christmas trees? Thanksgiving weekend? I think that's usually what goes on around here, and most of the people that I know, my family, puts up and decorates on Thanksgiving weekend. So tell me what you guys do, especially when you live in different areas of the country, not in Middle Tennessee. What do you do? When do you decorate for the holidays? So I do have some exciting news to share this morning. Mark and I close on our house on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I think it's November the 24th. So on Thanksgiving weekend, after we eat turkey and dressing and all the good stuff, then we will be moving. So we're excited about that. Okay, so here's what I have so far. That's my beads. They're on top of my little ornament hanger. I think I need a couple more, but if I do too many more, I won't have enough slack to make my knot when I pull it through. Then you guys will get to see me make another mistake. The good thing about crafting, making anything for yourself is it doesn't really matter if you mess up. You're not following a rule book. You're playing with your own rules. Let me get my beads out of the way. I think I have enough. And then I'll drop it through. Again, I'm going to get wax on me because that was the wax that was in the hole. Let me see if I have enough to tie. Not making a mistake. Thank you, Aunt Vicki. We're excited. You know, we sold our house back in July. We closed in July, and we had this big plan to build a house, build our forever house. But with COVID, prices of lumber, prices of doors, prices of windows, manufacturing plants have been closed, so things are on back order, which makes things take longer, which makes things cost more. It's just been crazy, and we decided, hey, you know, we can't, you know, our budget is what it is. So we're going to have to rethink this process and find a home to live in. And we thought we would find a 2-year home, you know, something you buy and you fix it up and you sell it in a couple of years, you make a little bit of money, and you go on and all that. And we actually, I think we have found a forever home. So our 2-year plan turned into be a possible forever plan. And we're totally excited about that. And it's in the right neighborhood. It's right down the road from my bestie. Okay, here's what we have. How cute is that, you guys? Does it need anything else? Does it need a little bow over here? He's got the red down here. I'm gonna lay it to the side. You guys tell me, do you think it needs a bow or something to make it a little more colorful? So I'm gonna lay it to the side. You answer me as I start the next project, and then I'll go back to it and do something else if you tell me to. Okay, so that was that one. The next one, I am going to use these little ornaments. They say Mary with a deer head as the Y on the end. I'm going to use those. They came from the Dollar Tree, 5 for $1, you guys. 5 for $1. They have the little hangers because they actually could be, you know, just a little ornament. So they come with the little strings, but I'm not going to use those. I'm going to do basically the exact same thing on this one, but a little different pattern. So let me lay those to the side. Let me clip this one off. Remember, I'm taking my string off of the top of my hanger, or off the top of my side. This one I'm going to paint, I think. So I'm going to pull that string out, lay it to the side. Can you guys see all my mess? Got stuff everywhere. This particular side has a lot of frayed edges. I have a little sanding block. I'm just going to take them. They're almost like little bitty strings. This wood is so fine. And I'm going to get rid of those little strings just so they're not in my paint. Lay that to the side. Jeanette, you like it like it is. Aunt Vicki, you like it like it is. You're right. You're right. More other pieces on your tree or wherever you're going to put it will add more color. Hey, thank you, Cindy. You like it too? So right now the consensus is do not add a bow to this little sign. We're just going to leave it like it is. Won't that be so cute nestled up inside of a Christmas tree? Love it. Or you could hang it on your wreath. If you make wreaths, wouldn't that be cute hung off to the side on a wreath? I like it. However, if you were going to put it on a wreath, you would want to top coat that decoupage paper to seal it better. Because remember, I made this as an indoor piece. Okay, this one I'm going to paint red. This is just Apple Barrel Cardinal Crimson Red from Walmart, 50 cents. Super cheap. Squirt it out on my paper. Sorry for all the noise. There's not a whole lot in there, but it won't take much. And again, I'm not worried about, I'll find my paintbrush. I'm really not worried about whether I get any on the chalk surface because I'm going to cover that up with paper again. And I do have a blow dryer to dry this quickly. Take off the sticker off the back. Thank goodness it peels easy. Hey Shirley, thank you for watching with us. Where are you joining us from, Shirley? Okay, so I'm just going to go in and paint with my apple barrel paint. This dries super quick, you guys. Like I said, I've got a blow dryer to help it along. We'll load up the brush and spray it real thick. This one I have more color naturally. Maybe I should have done that that generic or the less descriptive paper, I guess, on the back of this one that's got the red. But I didn't. That's okay. I quickly can tell that I'm going to need a lot more paint than when I squirt it out. I'm actually scooping it up pretty thick. I do have it on parchment paper, so I don't make a mess. So anyway, we're moving Thanksgiving weekend. The plan is moving in boxes, that my Christmas decorations will not go into the attic. They are going to stay out because I will be decorating as quick as I can. I'm totally excited. We didn't know if we would have a house by the holidays, but we do, or we will. Now remember, I'm getting that paint on the chalk surface. I don't know if you guys can see that mess I'm making. It's really not a big deal. I'm gonna cover it up. I'm getting this all over my hands. Let me tell you guys, craft paint washes off super easy. I usually don't worry about gloves. I don't worry about a mess. Most of the time I will walk around with paint all over my hands for the rest of the day after I've been crafting. Don't stress it. Now I will tell you that I got to church services a couple of weeks ago and looked down, and right all up and down through here on my arm was green paint where I had laid my arm in the mess. Thankfully it was on the inside, nobody else could see it. Okay, almost got this one covered. Like I said, it's not going to take a long time because I'm going to blow dry it real fast while you guys are waiting. Thank you for being patient and watching. I told a few of you the last time, I don't know who all watched the video, that I usually get super nervous if somebody's watching me while I work. If Mark is in the room and I'm painting or something, I feel like he's inspecting what I'm doing, and it makes me a nervous wreck. He's not. That's not what he's doing. He's actually just enjoying watching me paint or glue or whatever it is I'm doing. But it just makes me a nervous wreck. So when I first decided I was going to do videos on Facebook, I thought, I will never make it because people are going to be watching. But guess what? You guys can't see the small imperfections. Only I can. Okay, I've almost got the edges. And you know, it just gives it a more vintage look if there's some boo-boos here and there. Okay, I think I've got it good. So there we have it. Here, let me get caught up on my comments. Hey Joan, nice to have you. Hey Melanie, good morning. Hey Alicia, hey Haley. Good to see you guys. Everybody be sure to sprinkle the video. That means you post it on your wall and you tell your friends to watch if they are into home decor or just want to watch somebody who speaks really Southern do a craft. Today we are making Christmas ornament signs to hang in your Christmas tree. That's the first one that's done, and we're working on number 2 right now. Okay, you guys bear with me while I get this blow dryer for a minute. I'm not going to turn it on high. Shouldn't take that long. I don't know if I'm interfering with the volume or not. that dry. I'm gonna turn it up on high, okay. I want it to dry faster. I need to invest in one of the heat guns. They still make noise, but they don't make as much noise as a blow dryer does. But you know, I'm cheap. I like to do everything on a bargain, so most of that's already dry. Okay, I'm gonna lay this to the side. I'm gonna get my white, just because I don't want my paint to be spread to my scrapbook paper. And now let's come up with a scrapbook paper that we think looks good with this red. Hey Deborah, good morning. Hey Ava, thank you for watching. Okay. Getting text messages. Keep moving around so my shirt keeps raising up. Okay, I'm laying that one to the side. All right, so I have a red frame this time. I'm back to my scrapbook paper. I'm just gonna flip through and find, I want it to be similar to my deer, but not exactly the same. I think I'm gonna go with this one. But I want the word Mary to show up. So what do you guys think? This paper, you see that? It's got red berries in it too. Or, hold on, let me find. Or these polka dots. Now remember, this one is going to have the word Mary. I'm going to gel stain this one, I think, gel stain. What do you think? The polka dots or the berries? It's got to be something kind of light for the word Mary to stand out. And not too busy. What do you think? Holly berry at Vicky? Good morning, Heidi. So Melanie, you're using a blow dryer at the same time. Well, at least you can watch a video while you blow dry because you don't have to have the volume. Okay, let me find that holly berry again. I'm gonna go with the holly. Berries, Mom says berries to it. Vicky says berries. We will go with the berries. Okay, and it is very similar. This is the paper that I used on the first deer, and that's the second paper. So they're very similar. They will match. And again, it doesn't have to be matching anyway. I do see on my red frame, I do see I've got some more frayed edges. It's pretty dry. I'm gonna go back and distress my edges just a little bit and get off the little bits of wood that are still kind of jagged on the edges. And this will also distress the edges a little bit, take off some of the red. You guys, the thing is, when you're making your own items at home, it just turns out the way it turns out. I'm not trying to impress anybody, you're just doing your own thing. But I am excited when they turn out cute. And I didn't blow dry the back, so the little bit of paint that was on the back is actually getting all over my hands. And I'm making a mess all over my parchment paper, but that's okay. Just distressing the edges a little bit. Remember, I'm not worried about that paint on that chalk surface because it's going to be covered up with the paper. Get my paintbrush out of the way. Get my dust all in one little pile here. Who else is a messy worker? I'm super messy when I work. Yeah, you can see that there was wet paint on the back. So I'll get that off of me. I don't want it on my sweater. Most of it. Okay, so I'm going to measure my paper again. I'm going to do it the right direction this time. Measure my paper. I literally just put it in corner to corner. I don't know if you guys can see that. Mash it down where I think I should cut. Make a little indentation. Actually, I put my thumbnail through it that time. Get my cutter. Can you see my indentions or my cuts with my nails? Flip it upside down. Get my paper turned the right way. Cut it. Save your leftover paper. You're going to need it for another project. Okay. Now I have my little piece of scrapbook paper. It should fit right in. Let's test it. Actually, I cut it a little bit off. Let me trim the edge off of that. It's a little bit long. One thing about buying pieces of wood from the Dollar Tree, they may or may not be exactly square. Okay, cut a little smidgen off. Now I'm good to go. So that's what it's going to look like. Back to my decoupage, my Mod Podge for my glue. Get my paper out. It's not wanting to squirt out. Hey Nicole, thank you for joining us. Okay, here we go. Let me get my Mod Podge all spread out here. That paint where I got it on the inside of the chalkboard is dried. And I may have gotten too much this time because it's pretty gloppy looking. I'm gonna have to take some off. Because remember, if you have too much glue on your surface and that looks pretty gloppy, I don't know if gloppy's a word. All of those extra ridges will make air bubbles in your surface. So I'm gonna try to wipe some of it off. I got a lot of it off. I needed a wet paper or a dry paper towel. Don't have one, that's okay. All right, so I've got my glue. I spread it out, putting my berries on right in the middle, and then just rub it down. Okay, and where I had some extra glue, don't worry about that. Mod Podge dries clear. So it's showing some white around those inside edges. It's not a big deal. And I'm not going to seal this one either. I'm not going to put a top layer on because it's just going to be on the Christmas tree. Okay, so that's what we have so far. We're going to lay it aside. And I'm going to move on to my Mary. So here's my word Mary, and with the little deer head. So I'm trying to decide. Okay, it's going to go in the middle. And I am going to put a bow on this one because it won't have an embellishment down here. But do I just stain this with my dark wax, the whole word Mary, or do I paint it red to stand out on there? And then maybe just the deer head with the antlers will be stained. What do you guys think? Give me an opinion or two. You know, I can stain it and then I can go back and paint it if I decide to do that. Let's see. Anybody got an opinion before I get started? Stain. Mom said stain. Cindy said stain. Vicky said stain. Okay, stain it is. I lost my shirt, my piece of t-shirt. Okay. Look, I didn't even put the gloves on this time. All right, so I've got my little towel or a little piece of t-shirt and my wax. This is that Kills dark wax and just going over it. Now, the only thing is it's going to get up in the edges, in the cracks and crevices. This is a very, very fine piece of wood. Very dainty, I guess. So I'll have to dig it out of those cracks and crevices. Hoping I get finished with this and get my mess cleaned up before the baby wakes up. Owen is upstairs taking his nap. Owen will be a year old on Saturday, you guys. Owen is my number 4 grandbaby. He is the second to the youngest. And he is going to be a year old on Saturday. Cannot believe already a year old. And the baby, the new baby, is 2 months old. He was 2 months old this past Saturday. That is Maddox. Okay, so here it is stained. We like that? Oh yeah. Let me wipe my fingers a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. I don't want to get it on my red. So tell me, do we like that? That shows up pretty good? I think so. I think it does. Hey Anna, I'm glad you're watching, but you are late to the party. I was just talking about Maddox. He just turned 2 months old on Saturday. Your sweet little baby. Okay, so again, with this one, you guys, I'm going to use the super glue adhesive, the gel, and then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue too to get it stuck on there. Isn't that gel great? I mean, you stain something and wipe it off and pick it up and work with it, and you don't have to worry about waiting until it dries or anything. It is wonderful. Now, it'll stay a little tacky for a little while. Not tacky, I guess it'll kind of feel wet for a little while, but it's really not. But it makes your crafting project so easy. And if you're not if you don't really like to do the distressing, like where you have to sand everything and make a hot mess everywhere, then you can distress with this and it makes it so much easier. Okay, so I've got my glue on. Let me get it down here in the middle. Just a little, okay, there we go. So cute. All right, again with the top, at the top of this one, I'm going to add my string back with my beads. That red's pretty bright, you guys. I'm gonna have to tone it down with something. I'll find a ribbon or something to make a bow, something more natural looking. Oh, I think I have the perfect thing. Got beads rolling everywhere, sorry. Okay, again, I'm gonna hot glue the end of my string. This is the same string I cut off of the project earlier. Hot glue the end, let it cool just for a second so when I touch it, I don't burn my fingers. And then I'm just gonna twist. And when I twist, it actually strings out really long. Can you guys see that? That's actually just glue stringing out. But the more glue that strings out, the easier it is to feed your beads through. I'm not going to make the same mistake this time. I learned to remember to put my string through first. So I've got it hanging with my knot. And then I'm going to do my beads. I think I'll just do the same combination of beads this time because they worked on that last project. So I'll do a small or a medium and a small, a medium and a small, and so on. How many did I do? 1, 2, 3. Got beads rolling everywhere. I have to get those up before the baby gets up for sure. He will put them in his mouth. Oh, I could add some stain over the red, Melanie. That would definitely, good idea. Melanie suggested that I put a little of the gel stain over the red and distress it to make it a little dark. It's a very bright red, and I think I will do that. I'll just kind of steer clear of my jute that I'm threading on right now. But it is pretty bright. And I didn't want it to be like so in your face, I guess. So what was the consensus on putting up our Christmas trees? Is it Thanksgiving weekend? Is that usually when it happens, Thanksgiving? Who's already started shopping? That's the next biggest question. We got to get through birthdays before we can shop for Christmas here. You thought that too, Mom, to put the stain? That's a good idea. I was sitting here telling you how you can distress with stain, and then I hadn't even thought about doing it myself on this project. Sorry, putting the beads on is a little time consuming. This one is trying to not thread quite as easy. And I'm trying to make sure I get the right size beads every time. Okay, about got it. Or a week before, Heidi. You've already started? You've started on Christmas shopping or decorating? The shopping or the decorating part, Heidi? Maybe you meant the shopping. However, I do have a sweet friend that will be putting her Christmas tree up probably any day now. And you know what I say? If you love Christmas and Christmas makes you happy, and the tree makes you happy and it brings you joy, put your tree up. If you want to put it up on Halloween Day, put it up. That's what I say. Don't worry about what everybody else says or what everybody else thinks. We spend way too much of our time worried about what everybody else thinks, I think. I think that we spend too much time. I was just talking about that yesterday with a sweet friend of mine about how much of our time we waste worrying about what everybody else is thinking or saying. When honestly, everybody else is too busy to be thinking or saying anything. Okay, got my beads on here. I got a little red paint. Your sister puts hers up on Veterans Day. What's that? Veterans Day is November the 12th. Is that right? Good for her. Well, that's the only way you get a couple of really good months out of it. I mean, especially if you take it down New Year's, you know. Okay. Got that knot tied. Let me clip off the end. Wipe off my fingers because, again, that hole had some red paint in the middle of it. So when I put that jute through. Okay, so here's what we have. Cute. Let's distress this boy. Let's take down that red a little bit. I'm going to go back to my Kiehl's Dark Wax. Oh, Corey said the 11th. I was close. Maybe it fell on the 12th last year or something. Hey, Bubba, are you watching Mama this morning? Is Corey actually watching? Okay, so I've got a little bit of that dark wax on my t-shirt, my old yucky shirt, and I'm just going to go, look, I'm just kind of striping it around the edges. I really don't want to get it on my beads. Okay, see what I've done? Now I'm going to flip to a different part of the shirt that's not got it so thick. Lay down my project and literally just rub it side to side. I'm going with the wood grain, which is side to side. Oh wow, that does make it so much better. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Mom, for the good idea. Let you guys see what it, you can tell me if you think it needs a little bit more or not. It definitely takes away the brightness. What do you think? Better? Can you guys see that? I think it's much better. But tell me if you think I need to add more. Okay, but I am still going to put a bow on this because, you know, bows and me go together. So, a bow, here it comes. Corey's doing honeydew items and he gets to listen to his mom's live video. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I use this just as red sheer on the other deer. So these are my two projects, side by side. Got beads falling on the floor. I'm going to use a little bit of this red and something else. Something more natural looking. I've got it right here. This is a really, really wide ribbon. I got it last year at Sam's. You guys, if you don't buy ribbon at Sam's, you have got to go check out the ribbon. Every season, especially Thanksgiving or fall and Christmas, they put out that huge display of ribbon. These things are they're 50 yards, 150 feet of ribbon for like $7. You can't get that anywhere. So this is last year's ribbon, and it's got the holly. I think it matches my background really good, but it's too wide for my project. So what I'm gonna do is cut me a couple of pieces, or a piece. I don't want a big bow, I just want something small to add a little color to the side. I'm using kitchen shears, by the way. I did not bring down my good scissors from upstairs. Okay, so this ribbon is way too wide. It's 1.5 inches. I am actually going to cut it in strips. I did not know I could do this and use this as a messy ribbon or as a messy bow till I've seen somebody else do it. You guys, you get good ideas watching other people's projects. So it's a wired ribbon, so there's wire on each side. And I want a little bit of that wire to, so I cut a strip off of each side that has the wire. So I've got 2 pieces with wire, and then the middle strip does not. I'm going to use that too. And remember, no perfection here. I'm just cutting it as straight as I can. It'll give me 4 strips out of that one little bitty piece of ribbon. Okay, there's that. Got 4 little strips, 2 with wire, 2 without. I'm going to use a little bit of this red. I'm going to cut 2, maybe 3 or 4 strips of that red. It's the same color red as my background. And then I'm thinking I need something to break it all up. Maybe not. Oh, I know what it is. You guys, I bought, can you see this? This is a ribbon. It looks like snow crystals on bark. That's what that looks like. I'm going to use a little piece of this. And the same thing. I'm going to cut the length of it, but it's 1.5 inches or, yeah, probably 1.5 inches wide. I'm just going to cut a couple of little strips. It'll add some texture. It'll lighten it up. It'll give it a little nature look. This, every single piece of it is feels like it's wired because the entire thing is stiff and will hold its shape really well. So I'm cutting it in 4s too. I'm losing parts of it because when you cut it in strips, if I don't cut it in the right spot, it breaks apart, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna make a messy bow real quick and then we'll wrap this project up. A messy bow, it's a refabbed bow. You just take your little strips, crisscross them into X's. This is strips of ribbon. Mix match them up. This is going to be a tiny little ribbon, not going to be huge. I'm trying to decide how many pieces of each one I want to use, and then I'll trim up the ends when I'm finished. Gotta hurry up, you guys. I've got a baby upstairs. He may be waking up any time. I don't know if you guys can see what I've got going on here. I know I'm doing it right in front of me. And I'm trying to do it quickly. And then I'm going to end with a piece of this. Alright, so this is what I have. It's all that ribbon, all just crisscrossed up. And I need a piece of string. Look, this is that string that I cut off the top of the reindeer. That's what I'm going to use. Wrap it around the middle. Flip it upside down, tie a knot, and cinch it up. That string is so little. And then I will tie a double. Let me do it again. Oh, I messed up. I let it go. Hold on. Sorry. Made a mistake. I let it go too soon and it gave way. Need another piece. I always have jute with me. A little thicker jute might be easier for me to tie. Better, Melanie? Oh, Melanie, I don't have a Costco membership, but I've been in with friends that have a membership, so I may need to go check them out. However, I still had like 4 rolls from last year that were pretty full ribbon, and then I bought 4 more at Sam's because I can have it for years to come. I decorate my tree with a lot of ribbon, and I usually use it for like little loop-de-loop swirly bows coming down the sides of the tree. But I'm going to have to check out Costco because if they have cute ribbon, then I'm going to want some. Okay, this is what I've got, you guys. It's kind of crazy looking because I had dropped it and then I had to fix it. So I'm going to go through it. It's kind of all out of whack, all different lengths. I'm going to cut off the extra, which I do not believe in wasting ribbon. Normally I want to cut them to the right length so I don't waste anything. But today I'm in a hurry. I know I've been on this video for quite a while. I appreciate everybody sticking it out, hanging in there with me and doing the sprinkle and all those things. But there you have just a cute little messy embellishment. Cute and messy. How about that? That sounds like my granddaughter. Cute and messy. And then I just kind of flip them all out. Little bitty bow. And I'm just going to do it to the side with a little bit of hot glue. And I'm going to do it right underneath that knot where the beads hang. There we have it. What do you guys think? Cute. Yeah, that, hey Corey, you bought a 10-foot tree. Oh, I'm so excited for you too, Heidi. We had a giant tall tree because we've always had tall ceilings, but guess what? The new house, 8-foot ceilings in every room. So we have to order, well, I actually just ordered a new tree from QVC. Okay, you guys, we did 2 projects today. We did the reindeer, that's an ornament for a tree, and we did the Mary. Total cost of these, you guys, seriously, I mean, you're looking at adding pennies on top of the Dollar Tree item. You're looking at maybe $1.50 each. And look how cute. So I have 2 ornaments. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sprinkling the video. I really, really appreciate that. If you're interested in seeing any more projects, I'm going to try to do a live every single day. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just kind of coming up with things as I think about them. But I just really appreciate you watching and taking the time out of your day to share a little of your joy with me. And I hope everybody has a blessed day, and I will hopefully see you all again tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye. Just stand, turn it off.